So what we're going to do here is we're going to draw a business card holder and then toolpath it using Fusion. So I'm going to start off by creating my base feature. I'm going to create a sketch on the top plane. And I'm going to create this. I want to use a center point rectangle. So off the center origin there. So I'm going to hit create and rectangle and center rectangle. And I've got my rectangle cursor here. When I hover over the center, you see how it kind of gets drawn into the center, and I get that blue box there. That means it's going to create a rule. So I'm going to click there and drag out and click again to set my rectangle. Right click, and with Fusion, when you right click, you get the kind of a little spray of menus there. You can click on, hover or click on one of the other menus. That'll open the remaining menus. Gets me to the sketch dimension, which allows me to put my dimensions here. Cards are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. I want to have a 1/2 inch all the way around for border. So I'm going to set this to 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And we'll finish the sketch. What I want to do now is I want to extrude this. So I'm going to click on extrude. And I want to go down, so I'm just going to drag it down. And I want to go about 0.7. So, other CAD systems, I pick a direction for the extrusion. Here it's either, with Fusion, it's either plus or minus. My operation type is going to be new body. So we'll select OK. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to create a pocket in the top here. And so I'm going to click on this face. And I'm going to click on Create Sketch. And just pan with the wheel button. Bring this over a little bit. And I'm going to do another center point rectangle. So Create, Rectangle, Center Rectangle, again from the origin, out to the edges. And this went ahead and created a bunch of rules. So I've got my constraint here. I've got my parallel and parallel are there. My parallel and parallel are here. I got a perpendicular rule here. And I got a horizontal rule there that locks it all in. So I'm going to right click on Sketch and Sketch Dimension. I'm going to set the distance from here to here as 0.5. I'm going to set the distance from here to here also as 0.5. Now, if you've been working here and your units aren't really what you want, you can go here and change your units. I changed my active units a while ago, and that's just the default now. You can also pick preferences here. Let's come up in a minute. And set your units, set your unit displays here, and default units for design, manufacturing, and simulation. So for design and manufacture, I have them in inch. For simulation, I have them generally set to metric units because all of my machining is in inches, and in my head, all of my engineering is in meters, kilograms, seconds. So I'm always having unit issues. All right, so there's my sketch there, and you see the lines are all black, which means it's fully constrained. I do want to put fillets in here, but I prefer putting the fillets in as features instead of in the sketch. It just makes it easier if I need to change things or modify things, because then it's a feature instead of having to dig through sketches. So finish sketch. And that rotates it automatically into my home view. I can also anytime change my view by working with my view cube, and this is my home view. My home view is going to be this orientation zoomed in a little bit more. All right, so to create my cut here, I'm going to click on Extrude, and I'm going to click on the profile. That's the profile I've picked. The operation type is going to be a cut, and I'm going to go down. And in this case, I want to go down by half of my overall. So my overall was 0.7, so I'll go minus 0.35. Right. Have it set to cut, select OK, and there we are. There's my cut surface. I want to do my through cut here. So I have to have a slot that I can put my fingers in, because getting these cards in and out is going to be kind of hard. So I'm going to open this up a little bit. So I'm going to select this face here, create sketch, which rotates me into this view. I'm going to create a 2-point rectangle. I'm going to intentionally create this a little out of position. I'm going to intentionally create a little out of position because I want to create a rule between the origin, hold down the shift key, and this line. And it's difficult to do if they're on top of each other. I want to use a midpoint rule on those lines. I'm going to escape to stop creating rules. And a midpoint rule allows that to happen. That line is locked into place, and this shape is locked onto the center there. That's perfect for me. Right? Now I want to put some dimensions on here. So right click, sketch, sketch dimension. My height here is 0.35, same as my pocket width, or my pocket depth. And my width here, we'll say, is 1.5. And now all the lines are black, fully constrained. Finish the sketch, rotates it back into my home view. We're going to extrude. I'm going to pick that shape to extrude. And I'm just going to drag it all the way over there. And you see the preview is actually showing me pretty good what's going on. We'll do a cut. And we'll just have it cut all. And I can just pick a direction, just tell it all, it'll cut everything. Select OK, and there we are, cut all the way through. Okay. You know what, I made this wall a little too thick. Let's go back over here. This sketch, I actually need these, I don't need these to be 0.5, maybe 3/8. So I can actually type in here 3/8 and then finish sketch, and then that'll go ahead and modify everything. And that's really the great thing about parametrics. And it was just looking a little too chunky, and I didn't think the business cards would fit. All right, so next up I want to do fillets. So I'm going to click on the fillet command. Now if you've used other CAD systems, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type in, you're going to want to pick a fillet and then type in a value. If you do that, you'll have a single edge that's filleted. With Fusion, you need to pick all the edges that are going to be part of the fillet and then type in your value. All right, so it's a little different there. So I'm going to pick my vertical edge here. Don't be tempted to type in a value. If you do that, you're done filleting and you have to start over again. And you can't really add edges to the fillet, unfortunately. You have to create a whole new fillet feature. Okay, so I've got all my edges there. So I've got those two edges, those two and those two. Those two there, those two there, those two there. And we'll set our radius to 0.125 because I'm using an 1/8" tool. That looks good. And add another fillet. We'll say this is 0.125 as well. We'll say OK. There's our fillet all the way around. So we got fillets in here and fillets out here, just to make things look nice and cool. Do two other things. Over here on Modify, I'm going to put a chamfer on this edge and this edge. And once you've picked the chamfer, you pick the distance, 0.05 in this case. There's my chamfer distance, just like filleting. So there's my chamfer and my edges. Last one, I want to put my name in here. So I'm going to click on this face, create sketch, which will pivot me in here, and I'm going to create text. And just pick a point, doesn't really matter where. Type in the text you want. Okay. And I'm going to pick get the directions sorted out, get the height 0.75, which is what I wanted to do. And the font, I'm going to pick here, I want Arial Rounded. It's a nice engraving font. I'll say OK. And now I want to move the letters around. Okay, so if I pick them and move them around, I can just actually just pick them up and move them wherever I want. I'm just going to try and get them kind of roughly centered. Looks like it should be okay. Double click on that, 0.75. Okay, and finish sketch. It looks pretty good. These letters look a little small. All right, that's fine. All right, so it's a good time to save our work. Fusion does all of its work in the cloud. So when you save, you're not going to be saving to your hard drive. You're going to be saving to a cloud location. I'm going to save this as card holder. And now I've got two parts named card holder. That's going to be kind of weird, but that's fine. Okay. And that is our basic model.